IEBC to deliver free and fair elections. Will this team, come 2027, uphold integrity? Good evening and welcome to another Tuesday of the Gen Z Manifesto, where our core business ni kuongea itutoke. We are live, of course, on K24 and Kameme TV, and as usual, I'm your host, Miss Kahiro. Now, tumesikia some leaders in government declare in broad daylight that kura nayo lazima waibe. What does this mean for Kenyans? Have the results already been decided as early as now? And the main question tonight is, muna trust the new IEBC could deliver? Linda Koskei. Una trust?
But tutasikia maoni. Sina maoni kwa sasa.
Well. Acha turudie hiyo swali waisikie vizuri as we wait for feedback. We are asking tonight, Jay, do you trust the new IEBC to deliver a free and fair election come 2027? Please engage us on our WhatsApp number iko hapo tu on your screens, and we'll be reading your feedback as the show goes on. Linda, ukoaje?
Wow, a very good evening to you, Miss K. Unajua ukisemanga wacha tuseme itutoke nasikianga. You know that feeling. And I think my panelists also share the same feeling. Yeah. And welcome, guys. It's so good to have you today. And I would love to pick their thoughts really on their feelings on IEBC, whether they feel like it's still credible or not. Right. And just to get their feel as well, after the 2022 election, did the how they feel about IEBC declined, or they sort of believe that come 2027, that's when the election will be? Nimesongesha sana.
What do you mean, Linda? What do you mean
umesongesha sana? Unajua tuko in another era where IEBC has a mandate, but then we don't know whether it has been manipulated by political forces. You know, politics also come at play as well.
Right, and I think the other question is, are they really truly independent? Is IEBC truly independent? Well, we'll hear from your group of people over there when you wataongea iwatoke. I'll also have my panelist. I have a lawyer and a political analyst. And for now, let's hear from Majibu with people kwa ground. Wanasemaje kuhusu IEBC? Do they trust them to deliver a fair and free election come 2027? Majibu?
Yo, Miss K, swali fiti sana mazee. 2027 zitakuwa 15th democratic elections kufanyika mazee, na by all aspects zitakuwa highly competitive. But swali ina rise vile umeuliza mazee, do Kenyans really trust the newly formed IEBC kuwa ita deliver free and fair elections? Watu mkwa kipushi kitu ni majenzi, na kama kawaida leo wanaongea iwatoke live on K24 and Kameme. Wacha nianza kubonga na wao saa hii. Nani ako na mic? Naanza na hapo hivyo. Bro, wanakuita nani? Alafu kuna IEBC imeformiwa mazee juzi. Tumeona wamekuwa sworn in chair na pia au commissioners. Do you believe hiyo team yote ita deliver free and fair elections come 2027, my G?
Thank you, ndugu. Kwa jina naitwa Jason. Personally, I don't trust the current IEBC. They have never been transparency all along to date. Kwa mimi nao wase ni sawa na kutafuta bikira kwenye wodi ya wazazi. So come 2027, we as Gen Z, we will have our agents in every polling stations. Wanasoma, tunasoma. Wana release, tuna release. We will count every vote. We will not wait for the IEBC to release results. Thank you.
Lakini hamuni kaa pia hivi kuna trust issues. Hata hawaja resume your voter registration imekuwa halted for 2 years now. Hata hamjiona kitu wanaweza do. Kuna trust issues already.
Because whatever has been happening
Karibisha Mike.
What has been happening in the past, it is a recurring of issues and problems. So these people, unless through the by-elections zenye wanaenda kufanya recently, they will determine whether these people they will deliver or not. Then from there, we as Gen Z, tukiona wase hawajakuwa transparency in by elections, then going forward, come 2027, we will have our own IBC in every polling station.
Sawa.
And that is our take.
Sawa. Acha nibonge na Titus pia hapo hivyo. Ni kweli Wakenya wamekuwa na trust issues na IEBC. Hata si ni uniform IEBC, hadi zile zingine bado wamekuwa na trust issues maze. Do you believe that hii timu mpya ita deliver?
Asante sana. Mimi kwa majina, mimi ndio Chief Titus Otieno na mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa chama kuu, chama iliyo imara, chama kitaifa, chama cha KANU hapa jimbo la Nairobi.
Title nayo muhimu.
Lazima wananchi wajue mimi ndio mwenyekiti hapa Nairobi.
Haya.
Sasa wacha nikwambie ndugu yangu. Sisi kama majenzi ile kitu tunataka, hataki kutrust watu. Juu tunajua trust ni ya vitu zingine. Hao watu mambo si trust. Hao watu mambo ni wafanye elections na tutakuwa bumper nao. Kwa sababu saizi wa Kenya vijana haswa sisi majenzi hataki upuzi sahi. Hataki kupelekwa hivi. Sisi wakipiga hesabu za kura tunapiga. Na kitu ya kwanza wafungue kwanza sisi jenzi tuchukue kura. Tukishachukua kura, kuanzia hapo tajua kura ni ngapi. Na kila mpaka line hapa kila ward, unajua kila ward polling station na polling center kuna kura ngapi. Tukishajua baada ya hapo, so najua ni kura ngapi inakuja na tutakuwa hapo wakihesabu tunahesabu. Kwa sababu ile form, unajua round hii sisi jenzi hata pia kwa tunatoka, tutapiga kura tunakaa pale ndani. Jioni wakishapiga kura wote tunangoja tunahesabu.
Mkisema wakihesabu majenzi pia wanahesabu, mnajipanga aje 2027 because hawa sasa wako na hizo Kim's Keys, wako na hizo devices zote. Nyinyi mko na nini ya ku transmit results?
Asante. Sisi tuko na information ya kwanza. Ya pili, saizi jenzi kutoka Turkana, kutoka Mombasa, Malindi, kutoka Taita Taveta, kutoka Kisumu, Migori, tumekuwa tukiengage na hatujuani. Tunaengage wapi? Kwa X, kwa socials. Na hapo ndo kila mtu ataleta returning nini inaitwaje hii kitu. Kila polling station tutapata matokeo ya kila polling station na tutajaza pale juu. Sasa jenzi wa kila constituency tutajipanga, jenzi wa kila constituency wanatoa results zao. Alafu kuanzia hapo utajua kule constituency huyu rais amepata ngapi na huyu rais amepata ngapi. Lakini kitu ya maana sisi jenzi tuchukue kura na tupige kura. Alafu kuna hii maneno tena wanasema hapa. Kwa saa hizi unajua ni mzuri. Juu wao wenyewe wanaingia kwa mtu ambao wenyewe hawezi piga mbizi. Kwa sababu wanasema saa hizi wanataka tupige kura na ID. Hii era ndio mzuri kwa sisi Gen Z. Tunataka hivyo. Hii mambo ya voter card waeke kando. Tukuje na ID. Hii ndio wanataka hivyo.
Sawa. Wacha nipate pia bazopo wakili kiongozi amesema trust kwa IEBC nikaa kutafuta bikira kwenye wodi ya wazazi. Unasahau pia Yesu, Maria alimpata Yesu bila Yusufu. Pia bro, kuna trust issues na IEBC?
Mimi kitu kwanza nitasema naitwa Moshanga Kiragu. Mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana pale Kikuyu constituency na nitawania kiti cha ubunge pale Kikuyu. Niseme ya kwamba hii trust issue haijaanza juzi, haijaanza na this coming election. Hii trust issue imeanza kutoka kitambo. Na nimekuwa nikipitia reports kadhaa. Kuna a commissioner aliresign 2017 anaitwa Dr. Roslyn Akombe. Na ukisoma hiyo report yake the end of a tenure ana highlight zile issues zinakuanga IEBC. Unajua hii IEBC imekuwa na issues za transparency. Imekuwa ikituambia results ziko hivi. Form 34A iko hivi. Form 34B iko hivi. Form 34C iko na tofauti kidogo. So tuko na trust issue kwa sababu election, especially a president, it is always contested. Na ikiwa highly contested, tuna expect that kuna more credibility, kuna openness, kuna transparency. Unajua article 81 inatuambia how an ideal election should be conducted. Inatupatia principles of an ideal election. Inatuambia kuna universal suffrage. Inatuambia kuna transparency. Na pia kuna aspect ya ICT iliongezewa kwa IEBC Act. So ICT naye hatufai kuona more foreigners wakikuja kuinfiltrate kwa elections zetu through the ICT. Tunafaa kuona wase wetu pia majenzi pia wamesoma ICT. So we should even see them developing those softwares.
Nipate pia sentiments za baby girl hapo, the only girl kwa hii kikao leo. Nafaa tuongeze madem by the way. Infotrack survey ya December last year ilionyesha 26% of Kenyans hawana imani na IEBC kabisa, na 60% wana believe hakuna transparency kwa hiyo commission. Kuna changes kwa hii new commission?
Wajib, nashukuru pia kwa kunipatia hiyo nafasi. Kwanza mimi acha nichukue hii fursa kuwapongeza wale makamishna ambao wamekuwa sworn into office. Kwanza hiyo kazi ambayo, jukumu ambalo wamepewa na Wakenya sio kazi rahisi. Hiyo ni kama kujitolea mhanga. Like tumeona so many commissioners ambao wamekuwa wakidisappear, kama Chris Musando, he died mysteriously. Roslyn Akombe, she went into exile because of the pressure that comes with that job. Kwa hivyo tunawapongeza kwa hiyo nafasi ambao wamejitolea, lakini pia naona ni most of them wameingia under controversies, like they are close relatives to some senior politicians.
Hapo kwa relatives kwanza
Kwa hivyo we don't know if we are going to trust them, sababu already ni nepotism, washaingia kwa kiti kwa njia ambazo si za wazi. Lakini we have 23 by-elections coming. Kwa hivyo hapo ndio mtihani wao huko. Wanafaa wajue kwamba sisi kama Wakenya tuko macho. Makosa yote ambayo watafanya, any red flag that we'll see, we are going to raise that. Na already tumekuwa witness to that. There's an issue yenye ilifanyika na system yao juzi verify voter details. Kulikuwa na shida kidogo na mitambo, and then baadaye wakakuja kusema kwamba walikuwa wanarekebisha. Lakini hawakuwa wamepeana communication prior to that. Kwa hivyo hiyo inamaanisha kwamba Wakenya tuko macho. Kitu chochote ambacho watafanya tutakuwa rada kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba tunaweza kurekebisha. Tutawafunza kazi kama kama watahitaji tuwafunze, tutawafunza.
Wakihitaji usaidizi kuna majizo.
Ndio tuko rada kabisa, na wanafaa wajue hivyo na waweze kutia bidii kuhakikisha tunapata uchaguzi ambao uko fair. Hiyo ndio nchi yetu inataka kwa sasa. So they should not fail us, we are watching. Na pia tunaomba vijana kila mahali ambapo wako waweze kujitokeza. Acha nichukue fursa hii kuambia the young people of Kenya waweze kujitokeza kwa wingi na kuchukua vitambulisho. Kama kuna mtu ambaye ako 18 na hana kitambulisho, achukue kitambulisho. Na voter registration is about to start. Nafikiri uliona hiyo. Kwa hivyo IEBC watakuwa na kazi rahisi sana, sababu saizi tunangoja, ni hao wanatuchelewesha by the way. Tunasubiri sana waweze kuanza hiyo registration, and then tutaweza kujitokeza kwa wingi. Thank you.
Registration inaanza August later this year. Niongee na wewe pia kiongozi. Yes, I bring up story ya nepotism. Kuna wenye tuliona clearly some of the commissioners were related to some of the people in government. Hii inakuambia nini? Kama nitachukua anti mewa commission na mimi na vai kiti fulani, kuna trust issues hapo. Unafaa kuwa na trust issues kwa Kenya.
Asante sana kwa kunipatia hii fursa. Majina naitwa Melvin, na concerning the issue of IEBC, trust issues lazima ikue, kwa sababu yule ambaye anachagua makomishona, mwenye ana propose makomishona, mwenyewe ni contester kwa wakati ambapo wale makomishona wanahitajika. Na kama kawaida, ikiwa mimi ninashindana na wewe kwa mfano na lazima nahitaji ushindi kama vile unahitaji ushindi, nitatafuta watu ambao nikiongea watanisikiza, kwa sababu sasa ninataka ushindi. So wale makomishona ingekuwa kama trust, wangetaka ikuwe na trust kati ya makomishona na Wakenya, wangetafuta watu ambao wako independent, wakwende wanachagua makomishona. Lakini ikikuwa komishona wanachaguliwa na president anapendekeza, then yeye mwenyewe ni contester kwa election. So wale makomishona wenye yeye amechagua probably watamfavor.
Sawa. Wewe ashasema clearly akona trust issues. Wacha nirudi kwa kiongozi hapo. Yes, kumekuwa na trust issues, na clearly hata kwa the last elections, general elections, 7 million registered voters hawakupiga kura, hawakujitokeza kupiga kura. As much as mna champion for wasi kuchukua kura, wakuwe registered kama voters, but kikuja ni pale kwenda kupiga kura, trust issues zinaenda paka hapo. Jumsa anasema kama hivi ndio imekuwa previously, mbona nende ni vote sahi na wao ndo wana decide nani anashinda, si mimi mpiga kura kawaida? Utasema nini on that?
Yes, as we Gen Z, ama NGA, new generation aspirants, being one of the officials, these are called to youth, because the last election there was a low turnout because of trust issues.
Na mbokaribisha Mike bro akusikie. Unafaa ushaanza kuzoea sasa hivi kuambia wananchi nitafanya hivi
kabisa. So nasema
unavai.
Yeah, we as NGA, new generation aspirants, it is a call to all youths in this country, because last election there was a low turnout of voters, because of trust issues. So what we are doing now is civic education. We are trying to emphasize our fellow youths so that come 2027, turnout ije kuwa high. Because if we have numbers, it will be easy for us to be those guys. Lakini we cannot sit and watch. We are saying that mambo ni vile vile itakuwa hamna. So we are urging all youths, register, chukua votes, subiri 2027, and we will make sure na bosi akisema itamepata kitu kama 6 million votes, we will not accept that one.
Haya, sawa. Wacha niongee na kiongozi hapo hivyo. Kuna msema uliza swali?
Ndio.
Unajua mnasema wase wachukue kura hizo wakuwe registered kama voters. But unajua hata msema mnataka kumngoa bado. Also hiyo sisi mnapigana nayo. Still wana sing the same song. Chukueni kura kwanza vijana. As much as wanajua wanawapinga, lakini wanasema chukueni kura mkuwe registered kama voters. Yes, nyote kikuja ni historia IEBC mna sing the same song. Nyinyi kama new generation aspirants mko na nini ya kuoffer mpya, labda ya kuwatenganisha nyinyi na wasomi kwa system all along?
Asante. Kwanza mimi niko KANU, mimi siko new generation alliance. Mimi ni mwanachama wa KANU. Na
lakini ukiongelea Gen Z in general,
ukiongelea mambo ya Gen Z ndio
utasemaje?
Unajua mpaka mwaka 2024 tulikuwa tumeachia wazazi wetu fursa ya kuamua karibu kila kitu, lakini tukapata hao siko baya, lakini tukapata kwamba hao wako na ukasumba fulani ya uoga kidogo ya kuendea kitu ambacho wao wanahitaji kukua nayo kutoka kwa serikali. Lakini kutoka 2024 huyu mwaka uliopita, wazazi wetu waliona kwamba sasa sisi vijana wa Gen Z tumeamua sasa hii nchi sasa lazima sote tuchoroshe sasa vizuri. Sasa hiyo ndio inakwambia kwamba mwaka 2027 hii uchaguzi ambao inakuja, sisi Gen Z, hiyo kura unasema ilikuwa ni milioni 7. Haitalala. Hailali raundi kwa sababu tumeamua tunataka kunyorosha hii kitu vizuri. Atuachie mtu mwingine. Kitu kingine umesema kwamba ni nini tunafanya ili kuensure kwamba watu wanapiga, vijana wanapiga kura. Kwanza kabisa tunaambia vijana tuingie kwenye chama. Ingia kwa chama. Hata kama upendi hii KANU, ingia kwa chama, kwa sababu through that chama utakuwa na nafasi ya kupeana sauti yako. Hiyo ni ya kwanza. Ya pili tunaambia vijana raundi hii, kama ni jaba piga jaba ukishapiga kura. Kama ni kupiga ukishapiga kura. Hata kama ni dry spell piga dry spell, ile ukishapiga kura ndio uanze umalize utoe kutu. Naambia vijana raundi lazima tutafunga. Ikifika tu August 2027 tunafunga mpaka siku ya kupiga kura, kwa sababu hii kitu tukikaa hivyo tutangoja wazazi wetu wanaenda wapiga kura vile wanapiga kila siku na uoga, alafu akishapiga na uoga mwingine achukue ambaye tumtaki ama mwingine anale ambaye tumtaki, alafu baadaye kesho yake huyu mwingine akishakuwa sworn in, sasa tunaanza tena kukaa njaa juu ya mawe bila kazi. So ndio tumesema, hata umeona ndugu yangu, Wakenya wameona sasa hizi vijana kama Gen Z sisi tumeamua atuachie nafasi wazazi wetu wanapiga, sisi tukipiga kura yetu. Sasa tuone ni ya wazazi itakuwa mingi ama na Gen Z itakuwa mingi.
Haya, sawa. Wacha niongee na wakili pia hapo hivyo. The upcoming by elections zitakuwa ni kama ni litmus test kwa IEBC, the ability to conduct free and fair elections. But pia wananchi pia tuko na shida. Ona kama in some areas unapata wase mnapiga kura machungwa 6. So from MCA hadi prezo unapata for example wote ni ODM. Hiyo ita change this time round now that we have like scene imechange kabisa, the political scene imechange, we have new people coming up kuvai for these political seats. Kutakuwa na change in terms of like hiyo kuvote in terms of like ni region hii nasema sisi ni wa whatever.
Asante sana majibu kwa hilo swali. Nitasema venye mavijana usema, rada ni jamo, rada ni moja this time. Tunaangalia mse individual, hatuangalii suti. Unajua suti ndio ilituleta kwa hizi blanda zote zenye tuko saa hizi. Tulisema kutoka MCA mpaka prezo tunachagua hustler, tunachagua UDA, tunachagua rangi ya yellow. So saa hizi tuko kwa hiyo shida kwa sababu pale juu akiwaambia ni left ni left, akiwaambia ni right ni right, akiwaambia tuende mbele ni tunaenda mbele. So this time round mavijana wamesema lazima tuchague mse based on individual capacity. We unatuletea nini? Unatuambia nini? Utatufanyia nini? So we are judging based on the individual capacity. Na niseme hivi, IEBC pia iko na role. Constitutionally, they're supposed to also conduct civic education. Hawafai kukaa chini wangoje political parties conduct civic education zikiambia wase tokeeni mpige kura, juu mkipiga kura mtakuwa accountable, mtakuwa mna hold wale wase mmevotia accountable because of virtue of voting. So this time round IEBC tunawaambia muangalie constitution, mfanye Kenya mmeambiwa na constitution, mnasaidiana na political parties because this is a role that they play together to ensure that the voters are actually sensitized on their rights.
Sawa. IEBC imetangaza plans za resume the continuous voter registration in August this year after your suspension at 2 years. Do you think that this time round kutakuwa na transparency because tumekuwa na issues after kwanza ile historia wa say North Eastern issues of IDs ni nini, ile sajili wapiga kura yenye majenzi wanasema ngendo mambo yote. Do you feel like kutakuwa na transparency na the newly formed IEBC?
Hiyo transparency ndio pia sisi tunahitaji. Na in the previous hizo IEBC, the board, kumekuwa na makosa nyingi ambayo ilifanyika. So I'm hoping the new administration wataweza kujifunza kutoka kwa ile makosa ambayo imekuwa kwa zile their predecessors. Tunatumai wataweza kusoma kwa hiyo makosa na wakati wanaingia pia waweze kurectify zile mistakes ambazo walimake. Sasa for now, sababu ndio wameingia, the office iko na a lot of pressure, Wakenya tunatarajia mengi sana kutoka kwao. It will be difficult to say kama tutajua wataweza kuperform. Lakini we'll be there to watch, na pia we hope wataweza ku-evolve na mambo ya kidijitali, waweze ku-improve the system from whatever happened before.
Naomba niko na dakika moja, but kiongozi pia wewe your last sentiments, labda ukiongelea story ya voter registration.
Mimi nikiongelea kuhusu voter registration, kwanza ningependa kuambia IEBC that wao ndio wako na full mandate ya kuorganize, kuhakikisha wanafanya kitu yenye iko transparent and honest. Wanapoachia like political parties wakuje waanze kuingilia na kuanza kufunza vijana, then political parties kumbuka wako na agenda zao, wako na interest zao, na they will just tell us according to venye wao wanataka, but not according vile tunafaa kujua ama vile inafaa kufanya. So lazima wakuwe they give themselves accountable for whatever it happens.
Chonjo, inaitwa the Z Manifesto. Hautawaipata show ingine kama hii, tafuta K24 na Kameme peke yake kila Tuesday bana. Washasema yao ikawatoka. Kuna comrade amesema mkienda kuvote this time round msifanye ile makosa yazo walifanya, beba ID na nini nyingine. Kuna yalikuwa anasema mchukue ukienda kupiga kura ubebe ID na akili. Alafu kama ni kupiga kitu kindukulu nini, ni after make decision, the right decision, na msi unapigia kura. Usikuje kulaumu watu baadaye after elections 2027. Tunaenda break, but show inaendelea baadaye studio na Miskia Hero na Linda. Lakini kutoka hapa mimi nishakafunga. Bye bye. Mpaka next week.
Kameme TV.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wase, iko on. Kila game ina mata. Reconnect now. Dial *423#.
Mtumaini Bwana kwa moyo wako wote, wala usitegemee ufahamu wako mwenyewe. Katika njia zako zote mtambue, naye atazielekeza njia zako. Mithali sura ya 3 mstari wa 5 hadi wa 6.
Ili kuset Mtumaini Bwana kama skiza tune yako, dial *811 *618#.
Muthenya mwega umenyekanaga riũa rĩkiuma ngo-inĩ, na ũngĩkorwo na mũtirithania mwega noguo muthenya waku uthakaraga na ũkagĩrĩra. Na nĩkĩo gũkũ gwa Kameme TV tũrĩtirithanagia nawe kwagĩrithia muthenya waku.
Na niĩ Mũmbi wa Chege.
Njĩtagwo Kĩmani wa Ngũnjiri.
Na niĩ Njoroge wa Kĩmani.
Atunyitanĩre ithuothe niĩ Maina Kĩhumo.
O muthenya wa Jumaine nginya wa Gatano kwambĩrĩria thinacara cia kĩroko nginya thaa 4 cia rũcinĩ.
Hihi wĩna kĩũria kana woni wĩgiĩ umemerekia wa Kameme TV? Twandĩkĩre woni waku kũhĩtũkĩra Facebook @Kameme TV Kenya, X @Kameme TV Kenya, na twandĩkĩre email kũhĩtũkĩra info@mediamax.co.ke. Kameme TV, mũthĩgi wa rũrĩrĩ.
Welcome back. This is the Gen Z Manifesto, where our core business ni kuongea itutoke. And tonight, we're asking one very simple question. Do we trust the new IEBC to deliver a free and fair election come 2027? Wewe mwenye unawatch show, una trust IEBC kudeliver kazi yao vifiti? Kuna msee pale kwa ground na majibu amesema kama wajui kazi yao sisi tutawafunza. I don't know about that. But let's hear your feedback back at home. Mnasemaje? Do you trust IEBC to deliver a free and fair election? Let's see some feedback from you guys at home. We don't trust IEBC. All right. We don't trust IEBC, but it's better having that bad than none. We have our own mechanism to ensure transparency. Gen Z tutaregister kama voter with one purpose, to change the government. Let them try kuiba kura, watajua who is who, all right? Paulson says the new IEBC cannot be trusted. If some commissioners came in through the back door, what would one expect? The usual Chebukati vibe. Paulson ameongea ikamtoka. Devi anasema wa Barnabas Nakuru siwa trust hata kidogo IEBC. Siwa trust. All right. Thank you so much. Pastor Mokundi anasema from Karangatha, Kinangop, Nyandarua County. Kila ambacho naona kwa sasa, watu wanafaa waombe Mungu sana. Maana hakuna mtu akona imani na hiyo IEBC. Wakikumbuka ni Ruto amewapendekeza. No faith at all. Thank you, Pastor, for your sentiments. Opio Omolo anasema, he's from Siaya. IEBC have no choice but to conduct a credible and verifiable election. This time, they are not answerable to anyone but we, the people. Otherwise, Opio amesema otherwise, .. I don't know what that means, Opio, but we appreciate your sentiments. For now, let's hear from Saidia Kolinda. Watu wanasemaje?
Hizo dukuduku ameacha hapo.
Hey.
Wacha zijibiwe hapa because silence is not an option. Let me begin with you. Do you trust IEBC to deliver credible or fair elections?
Honestly, I don't believe IEBC. But now they are the ones who are there. There's nothing we can do. As in the relationship that we have with IEBC right now, is a kind of relationship we will have with your partner who cheats. Like they have done it before, we just hope they don't do it again.
You're likening IEBC with a relationship.
Yeah,
shambles.
Yeah, there are a lot of trust issues. But you know the good thing that we learned from the past election is that the votes now are counted at the polling station. So we will have our agents there. Nakama IEBC, Bomas, whatever they will be telling us is different from what we have at the polling station, then we will have problems. Otherwise, IEBC, it's their responsibility to earn our trust.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to communicate better. They have to stay away from political interference, which I'm not sure they can.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid. I know for sure that the candidate who Kenyans will vote for will be the one who becomes the leader.
I love the lineup that you've given. You hope that they shy away from getting involved with politics and do their mandate. Andrew, let me come to you. What are your thoughts when it comes to IEBC?
Najua Waswahili wanasema uaminifu sio kitu cha kuazima.
Kwisha sisi.
That IEBC cannot just expect us to trust them. Given the past experiences that we have had, you know, just in 2022 we had a split screen, Cherera 4 versus the other 3. So personally, I do not want to say I have so much hope with the current IEBC because again, kuna mtu pia amesema, kuna wengine waliingia through the back door and na tunaona sasa wako kwa hiyo IEBC. So they have a lot of work to do to earn our trust, but we're just hoping that they know they're not doing this for the person or the agency that appointed them. That's the government, but they're doing that for the Kenyan.
Wow. Yes. I love the way my panelists today are straight to the point. Thank you so much for that. Let me get to hear your feelings about IEBC. Unaaminia?
Hi, siwaamini. I'll just like to say that I think so the IEBC panel, they are the favorite people of our president William Samoei Ruto. He has the reason why he selected them, because some of the IEBC panels were formers of UDA, and another one was a chairperson of Kenya Power. So one thing I want to know about it, if they have resigned their former works for them to be in that panel. Secondly, I think so Murkomen and the rest are saying in television that they'll steal the votes. So they have already made whatever it will come out with IEBC. So why should we trust them? The only thing I'll just request them, as he has said there are 4 recalled MPs, hope he will deal with that thing fairly. And those MPs will be recalled out or impeached. So for us to trust them, let them start with the first work they're doing at the moment. Let them open the portals for Gen Zs to register voting and everything, and they should not disturb us in anything. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much. Let me come to you, Lena. You are a lawyer, right? From your own perspective, would you share your thoughts in regards to even the process in which IEBC was selected? Does this give confidence to Kenya, and what should really be done?
Thank you so much, Linda. In the previous election in 2022, as you know, most of the Gen Z did not turn out to vote. And when I inquired from my peers as to why they did not vote, most of them felt like even if we go to vote, it has already been decided who is going to occupy which position. So they did not have the confidence in the IEBC. And from that, I could be able to infer that people feel like there are leaders that are people chosen, and then we have leaders that are systematically chosen. Now, since last year, we've had we have been in a revolution mode whereby people have gone out to the streets to call out the government. But the thing is that we cannot always be in a revolution mode. Once we are done with the revolution, then we'll go to reforms. And one of the bodies that needs reforms is the IBC. It's actually not about the person. It's not a person problem. It's actually a system problem, the IBC. Linda, even if we put you today there and you are neutral, we still have a problem with the IBC. There is no assurance up to date that we are going to have a credible election. And the clouds have begun to gather because we've seen a woman rep who comes and says that even if you don't elect so-and-so, then we are going to put them in there through rigging. So for me, I believe that we have a problem. And it's not just among the people, it's also among the political elites. I don't know if you've interacted with politicians, but you hear politicians say that there's something called safeguarding your vote. That once you've done with your campaigns, when you go to the election, that you need to safeguard your vote. And you'll hear politicians say that I stayed in the IBC at the polling station for 48 hours trying to protect my vote. Now you wonder, this is a person that was in a position to initiate reforms so that the IBC is independent, neutral, and can be able to offer free and fair elections, but they did not. Come 2027, you'll hear the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga say, call a press and say, unfortunately, we do not accept the results of the election, and so we are going to initiate a legal process. But this is a person who is now in bed with the government and capable of proposing reforms in the IBC, but he's not doing that. So for me, I do not trust the IBC, and I don't believe they're going to offer free and credible elections.
So it's a systemic problem.
It's a systematic problem. It's not a personal problem. Yes, it will not matter who is in that position. At the end of the day, we will still not be able to carry out a free and fair elections from the track record that you have seen with the IBC, because the IBC has a record of sacrificing the will of the people at the altar of electoral malpractices. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lena, for that comprehensive feedback. Let me move to you. What are your concerns really when it comes to IBC? Do you have confidence with it?
I think the IEBC should be trusted, but it can't be trusted. And this is a problem. When already, even before the match, there's quite a hustle just to get the referees. Can we believe in the match being fair and honest, realistically speaking? Fine. Let's take the worst case scenario as it stands right now, which she's just from talking about, it being a systematic problem. The reality now stands that it's now going to basically be an optics issue. Optics in terms that optics now demands is the policy that will run what IBC now shows us. If IBC can't constitute itself and stand strong, because with IBC messing up 2027, the whole blame is going to be on them. And whatever happens after that is purely going to be on IBC. That's one thing that they need to understand. The whole government has been compromised as it stands. Systematically speaking, the judiciary can no longer be trusted. So if that already is compromised and the IBC gets to be compromised, it's already messy. So it's an optics issue right now. If IBC can literally just try and do its best and bring its people and its systems to a borderline where people can see that, you know what, civic education shouldn't be done by Danaro and Iteo and the people in this room. Civic education should be considered and begin with us as the IEBC. We should be initiating these kind of things, not letting the youths do this job for us. Then maybe an iota of credibility of what can be considered upon them for them to believe that we can, do something during the elections. But otherwise, as of now, there's nothing they can do that will restore or hold any trust or earn any Kenyans' trust.
But then if you were to recommend, what are some of the things that you would say, aside from civic education, what are some of the issues that you think should be
Linda,
at the forefront?
I think as much as she says that it is not only, it's not a people's issue, I know it's more of a systemic issue as well. As it stands right now, if the IEBC can actively just try and look into the people issue that it has, because that's what's building the optics. That's why people are mad. Because if already IEBC people, the people who are supposed to run this, have ties to executives, have ties to the government, and this is something to the current standing government that people are against. So it's like you're telling us that the person who's going to be deciding our verdict is the same person who's going to be consuming us and taking us down. How can a goat win a case if the cheater is going to be the judge of the case? Let's be realistic. Yeah?
Wow. Thank you so much. Allow me, Ms. K, just to speak to one more lady right here. Ateyo, you're a civic educator. Kenyans have really taken a personal initiative to do these civic educations. Is this the way to go? Or also we should not forget the mandate that IEBC has been bestowed with as a civic educator when it comes to elections and everything around it?
So I think that definitely it would have to start with the IEBC because they are constitutionally mandated to do so. But I think it would also be very important for individuals to ensure that they are not ignorant about matters constitution, about matters civic education. Therefore, we are taking matters into our own hands. Could you allow me address my concerns with
Absolutely.
the IEBC?
Sema ikutoke, man.
Acha niseme nitoke. So I think there are very many concerns regarding the IEBC. There's a concern about, the delayed appointments. So is the IEBC going to properly be able to, do what it is supposed to do with the delimitation of boundaries, with the procurement to election materials, even with the registration of voters? Are they going to be able to do everything that they're supposed to do within these 2 years? So IEBC, definitely the ball has to be in your court. I think another issue would be the concerns with the statements, the reckless statements politicians are making. Say, why hasn't Silvanus Osoro yet been, why hasn't he yet been held accountable for the statements that he makes? Someone like Murkomen, even the politician in Wajir, saying things like, if you do not vote, we will just fill the ballots. But then again, I think we have to be very categorical when we hold the IEBC accountable, because you see, for statements like those, there should be other bodies that ensure that, that trust is still maintained. Why is the NCIC quiet, for example? The DCI, the ODPP, So I think on the matters of trust with the credibility of, the political interference, I would definitely hold the IEBC accountable for not issuing statements, and definitely these other bodies for not coming out strongly and rebuking such reckless statements.
Thank you, Theo. Hold that thought right there. We'll come back to you. Let's also get to listen to what the panelists on the other side with Ms. K have to say in regards to this. Unasikia wamesema inawatoka. Silence is not an option on this side.
Say they do not trust the IEBC. And the question that comes to mind when I hear them say this, the pure to ground, then what is the essence of voting in the first place if you do not trust the system to work for you? And I want to ask that question to my panelists here, starting with Jim Inda, a political analyst. What's the essence of voting?
So the essence of voting is a social, this comes from the social contract theory, right? That we want to get into a social contract with our leaders. Not all of us can go to parliament, not all of us, and we need some sort of order in the country. So to get that order, let us then elect a few of us to go and represent us in parliament and the rest of it. You see, elections need to be free and fair, and I've heard that word a lot, but they also need to be credible, and they also need to be verifiable, and they need to be transparent, right? There are all these different metrics that the Constitution has set out for us. And when you're talking about, do you trust the IEBC, do we trust the IEBC as envisaged in the Constitution? I absolutely do. I think the drafters of our Constitution absolutely nailed it when they thought about how do we recruit the IEBC, who should be the commissioners, how long should they serve, do we need to have a secretariat? They nailed it. Then we got into the political players hijacking that process and selecting different people. All the way from when you go back to Kivuito in 2007, who did not even know where his people were. And you go back to Isaac Hassan in 2013, and you get to Chebukati, and you realize, as one of our friends here said, that regardless of who we put in that position, it is a difficult job. You're put between a rock and a hard place. You're an arbiter of swords and daggers kind of game. Everybody wants to win. Elections in this country, we made it a do or die. And the reason we made it a do or die is because it is so lucrative to be a politician in this country. It is highly paying. It is the place where if you want to get rich quick, that is the place to go.
Someone said it's an industry in itself.
Yes, and that's why all the thieves are getting into politics. Look at all our prominent thieves. They go into politics. Anyone who has been prominently arrested or accused of anything, they go into politics. Look at anyone who has been accused of murder, rape, shooting people aimlessly. They all get into politics because that is where thieves thrive. And that's where they get all their money from, okay? And so because of that, the process is, because of the premium we've placed on elections and on politicians, the electoral process becomes a life or death situation. So that's why I think we need candidates who are bold enough to make statements like, we need to make politics as less attractive as possible. We can't be paying you to show up in parliament to do your job at a sitting allowance, member of parliament. Like, we show up and then at the end of the month, we pay you a salary on top of the sitting allowance. We pay you mileage allowance to go to your constituency to visit your people, and then people fake mileage allowances to go and do the job that they were elected to do. We pay you to be a minister, and then you end up coming with 16 advisors in your office. You understand why we've placed a lot of premium?
Right.
So until we remove that, elections will continue to be contested in this country.
Thank you, Jim Inda. Let me go to Adrian Olwoch. I call you my lawyer. You're a lawyer and governance expert. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Now, IEBC is here with us, Tukana commissioners, right? But we have less time, right?
Yeah.
What do you think should be the priority then? Is it mambo ya by-elections? Is it to begin the voters registration? What should be the priority? And as you answer me that, do you trust the IEBC? Tuanze tu hapo.
Definitely. In fact, this government, there is nothing that makes this government happy when the young Gen Zs have abandoned the idea of a popular revolution and have now focused on organizing themselves for an election. Because the affair or the issue about an election is something that is obviously state-controlled. So when you talk about the issue of a systemic problem in IEBC, let me tell you something. First of all, it is practically impossible to rig elections in Kenya, according to the framework and the laws that we have.
So what has been happening?
In fact, why did I say it's practically impossible? After 2017, the decision by Maina Kiai, they went to court and the court upheld the decision that the election ends at the polling station.
Right.
That Form 34A that is documented there and gives the number of votes the president has been given cannot be altered by the commissioner, cannot be changed by anyone except the court of law.
Right.
So if you are a presidential candidate today and you have 50,000 agents all across the country and they are there waiting for the results at the polling station, the amount of votes that you get there that will be tallied at the National Tallying Center should be the same as the addition that you have done from all the voting polling stations that you had the agents there.
Should be the same.
Should be the same.
But it has not been happening that way.
Exactly. And if it's not the same, that is a clear indication that there was rigging in there.
Right.
That is why even in 2022, it was quite a big headache to steal the elections. And that is why we had the stretch of up to a week whereby people are saying there were certain Form 34As that were not being delivered or uploaded to the system. It is very hard and impossible to rig elections in Kenya. So when you talk about having reforms, trust me, in Kenya today we have all the reforms that have been done when it comes to election. I want you guys to go read the Krugler report. I want you guys to go read the Kiraitu together with Senator Orengo report, political committee. They gave all the recommendations that we're supposed to be having. One of the recommendations that we had from the Krugler report was that we need to be having an integrated systemic computerized system, for transmission and tallying of our votes. But what has happened? That transmission has become a loophole now for stealing exams. For stealing, I mean the elections, I'm sorry. I'm used to exams and now I have to say those are some of the problems faced in the country. So the computerized system has now become a loophole for now stealing the elections. Now that we are having Form 34As in polling stations, before they even reach the system, they're actually altered. And by the time we know it, we are having a different Form 34As at the National Tallying Center and another different Form 34As that the agents had seen at the polling station. That is why during the last election, you were seeing a Form 34A that looked like a crayon wax of a child, whereby figures were not even they were not clear, they were actually seen to be changed. And that is the problem that now we are having. So when it comes to the issue of IEBC, you have to question the people that are there. But the frameworks that we have, the suggestions that we have, all those
set.
are enough
Okay.
for us to have a credible election.
And now to go back to the question I asked, yes?
Yes.
We are here, tuko na time kidogo sana. What should be the priority?
For IEBC?
Yes.
Of course, the priority for IEBC is just to do its mandate according to the law. The time frame that we have right now, there is no big systemic change that we can have or reform that we can have in IEBC. For them, they should just uphold whatever we have had.
And do you think
they should make sure that
have enough time to uphold?
Of course, they do have enough time. If the decisions were made in 2022 and recommendations were made to court at that time, they should have a time frame of about 4 years before the election to actualize on this. And one of the things that people are fearing about is the system transmission, the KIM system, and the electronic transmission of votes that is going to be happening. So what reforms are they going to have so that we have we're not having a situation whereby we're having technical hitches, such as the one that happened in 2017, whereby after only 17,000, transmission of 17,000 votes from polling station, the system failed. And also again in 2022, there were also system failures whereby the presiding officers had to physically deliver some of the Form 34S. Those are some of the little reforms that they're supposed to be making, but there is no huge significant change that IEBC is supposed to be making right now.
Okay, before I go to you, Jim, Linda, I hear you have a question for my guest up here.
Yeah, Danaru has a question over there,
Oh,
or
okay.
it's to contribute on in regards to
All
what
right, go ahead.
India was saying.
I think we need to also understand that in the current time that it is, with the new constituted IEBC committee, that there is a by-election that's coming in. And I would like to ask a lot of us out here, especially the Gen Zs, those who are politically inclined to these ideas, let's pay attention to these elections because that's where the litmus test is for IEBC as it stands right now, and even we politically as a youth. If we are not able to show up in those regions that require these by-elections, then we cannot even try and say that we need to trust and prove and say that we need to trust IEBC because we are not actively taking part in it as well.
Right. Right, thank you so much, Danaro, for that. In fact, your sentiment, ache tupeleke break. We'll be back in a minute.
One day, you will eat, walk, and talk like royalty. I need you to wake up.
Uko aware this is not a game?
Make it happen.
We need to shut this business down.
Hii biashara ndo kila kitu kwenye hii familia. Nikufe ama nisikufe.
Kama mbaya, mbaya.
An eye for an eye.
What is your family involved in? Go close to take control over the hearts of empire. When in noma sana.
People Daily, Kenya's trusted newspaper, is making history as the first daily to go fully digital. By transitioning from print to the PD News app, we are delivering the same exceptional journalism you've relied on for years in a completely new way to experience it. It's news for today and the future. No paper, no waste. Just real-time updates and customizable stories. This is a leap towards innovation, sustainability, and a better experience for you, our reader. Download the PD app now on Play Store and App Store. People Daily. News that moves with you.
Gatano tariki 25 mweri uturi kambuni ya Pwani Oil ni magacera matura ma Kahunira, Kajai, Kiagima na St Joseph mwena wa Githunguri kunyitanira na arimi aria maigaga ng'ombe cia iria. Ni magoka gukuonia njira njega ya gukama ugitumira maguta ma Sour Milking Jelly maria makoragwo mari soft na magatigirira ati ng'ombe yaku ni irakamika na njira njega o ati ndingihitha iria. we mũrĩmi wa iria nĩ ũkeyumĩria wone ũrĩa maguta ma Sour Milking Jelly mokĩte gũkũguna harĩ ũrĩmi waku. Nĩ Friday tarĩki 25 mweri ũyũ tũrĩ kũrĩa Kahũnĩra, Kanjaĩ, Kĩangima na St Joseph.
Kiumia gĩkĩ tabarĩra-inĩ ya ka mũrĩmi tũrarĩma itunda rĩa matomoko kana custard apple.
Itomoka rĩciaraga ta mũtĩ ũtarĩagwo. Wona warĩhũnia kila kitu ĩciaraga ta mũtĩ ũtarĩagwo. Na nĩrĩendetwo mũno nginya nĩ kana, ona kana ũngĩkanengere nyondo na ũkanengere itomoka gũthiĩ itomoka. Ndwarũma waigua ũrĩa rĩ cama. Ona warĩrũma ũguo nĩ ũkũigua nĩ kĩndũ kĩega. Ũrĩmi wa mĩtĩ ĩno nĩ mwega mũno tondũ mostly kũndũ ta gũkũ kwĩ ũrugarĩ nĩ ĩkaga wega mũno kũndũ kwĩna red volcanic soil. Ũndũ ũrĩa ũngĩ nĩ ũciaraga mũno. Rĩu tũrendia gatagatĩ ka 40 nginya 50 per kg. No hĩndĩ ĩrĩa gũtarĩ matunda twendagia 60 nginya 70.
Nyitana na ithuĩ nĩgetha tũmenye maingĩ megiĩ ũrĩmi na kũhũra biacara na itunda rĩrĩ rĩa matomoko kana custard apple.
Hihi wĩna kĩũria kana woni wĩgiĩ ũmemerekia wa Kameme TV? Twandĩkĩre woni waku kũhĩtũkĩra Facebook @Kameme TV Kenya, X @Kameme TV Kenya, na twandĩkĩre email kũhĩtũkĩra info@mediamax.co.ke. Kameme TV, mũthĩgi wa rũrĩrĩ.
Welcome back. This is the Gen Z Manifesto. Hapa form ni kuongea ikutoke. And tonight again we are asking, do you trust in the new IEBC to deliver a free and fair election? Ma Gen Z, we've been saying 2027 tuna vote. Lakini do we trust that the IEBC will make your vote count? I want to go to my Jim India, my panelist. See Jim India, I've been saying his name wrong. I am so sorry. Jim India, yes. Let's talk about the integrity part of this conversation. We've heard the Wajir woman rep talking about Tutaiba very boldly, right? Other people, Murkomen and so on. Nothing has been done about these statements. Nothing has been done to them because of these statements. The president himself, pia hajajitokeza kusema, no, this is not right. What does that translate to your mind when nothing is being done at all to, hold them accountable for their statements?
It's coordinated and it's intentional. Anytime a politician picks a mic and says anything, it's not accidental. It is well coordinated. And here's the thing, it's a form of violence. They tell you that don't show up at protests because you'll be shot, you'll be arrested, you'll be charged with terrorism. So you don't show up. They tell you don't tweet because if you tweet, you will be charged, arrested, abducted. They tell you don't speak up because you'll be charged, arrested and whatever. And then they tell you don't show up to vote because the election is already determined. In fact, the president says, mina kamuti ya kwenda one term. He's already telling you, yeye anakamuti ni kama watu kwenda one term wako na sura fulani yenye ikai kama yake. Unaona? So that's a form of violence that they already want to ensure that they discourage you so much that you have absolutely no business showing up for an election. And they have done that consistently. In 2022 election, many young people did not show up to vote. And the reason they did not show up, when you spoke to them, they said, mbona ni vote? Watu washaamua. hizi vitu zishaamuliwa, mbona mimi ni vote? And it's a form of violence that's meted against you. So this entire conversation, kitu tunaogopa sana ni tutapiga kura na Ruto ataiba. Hiyo ndio kitu tunaogopa. Hakuna mtu yote hapa anasema ati kura za MCA wake zitaibiwa. Hakuna mtu yote hapa anasema kura za MP wake zitaibiwa. Kila mtu anaogopa tutapiga kura for president na Ruto ataiba hizo kura na yeye atajitangaza president. So to beat that, all we have to do is a 2007 reenactment. We have to make his attempt to rig an election so shameful and embarrassing because of how many votes we have voted for our candidate that the whole world will see he has clearly rigged an election. That is how 2007 was done. It is that the opposition was able to marshal so many votes that it was embarrassing for what Kibaki was trying to do. He had to swear himself in at night. And thank God for the constitution, this man cannot swear himself at night this time around. So ensure, no matter how many times they say they will steal the votes, he must lose the youth vote by a big margin. And he lost that in June 25th of last year. Number two, and I know this will sound controversial, he must lose the Kikuyu vote thoroughly because these people voted for him more than 50%. And the Kikuyu community and the youth must recruit more into those numbers. And number three, he must lose the church. Our watu wa kuomba, he must lose those people. And that's why he keeps hosting them at State House. He must lose the church and he must lose them big time because the church must see him for the liar and the murderer that he is. Okay?
Do you think IEBC will be under fire if President William Ruto wins the election come 2027?
IEBC will be under fire if President Ruto wins the election in a manner that is clear to all that he has rigged the election. So, and the only way we can do that is ensure you embarrass him at the ballot box. Let them say all they want, let them say wataiba, let them... But, sisi, kazi yetu ni recruit, and then gather all, scatter none. All people must be under one direction. We might not agree on why we are voting out Ruto. Some people are voting for him because they're tribalists. I don't agree with them. Some are voting for them because he's not the right president. I don't agree with them. But I agree with them that we have to vote him out. So at this point, gather all, scatter none. Our parents, we need them. Because unlike us, they like voting. We don't like voting because some of us have voted once or twice. It's not a thing that we like. Our parents have religiously voted since the 90s. So it's become a habit. It's part of their behavior. They just vote. You can do an election to wanatokea na wapige kura.
So how do we then make sure that they vote properly, quote unquote, this time round?
You know, Ruto is doing that for us. He's doing that for us. He is messing up big time. But the civic education that we are saying has to happen where? It also has to happen in our homes. We have to constantly have those conversations at family meetings. Invoke those uncomfortable conversations. Tell them, hey, mimi ni mtu wa one term. You know, declare publicly. Let your parents have those conversations and let them see, ya kwamba surely, this one now, if they're spiritual, get the spiritual angle. Tell them this one now is spiritual. Mtu ya yule nabii wa uongo ameshikana na yule mganga na sasa unajua lazima tupige kura ndio tutoe hao watu.
The language they understand, Jim, yeah?
So
Thank
use
you.
the language they understand.
Thank you.
Them out.
Let me come to you, Adrian Oluoch. Kuna hii conversation ya the boundaries delimitation, right? From a lawyer's perspective, do you think we should be increasing or decreasing these constituencies?
So, first of all, devolution was one of the most momentum enactment of our 2010 constitution. Because for a very long time we have been suffering on the issue of about equitable distribution of resources. So the concept that right now we are having so many constituencies was actually derived from devolution.
Right.
But after so many years of the devolution process, or how it has been able to deliver to the people who have been termed as marginalized, it has actually failed in itself. The reason why we are having so many constituencies is because we want fair representation of people. So if we have an issue of about increasing or decreasing, we should first do an assessment.
Right.
What has been the benefit of the devolutionary process that we have had in increasing this constituency, and even counties themselves? Have they delivered according to what we intended and what we foresaw as a country? And right now, it has not happened that way. Devolution right now has become one of the biggest curses that we are having right now in Kenya, because it has politically grouped people, whereby if you look at Nyanza itself, you're not looking at Nyanza as a region whereby we have 5 counties. You're looking at Nyanza as it is headed by one person, Raila Odinga. You're not looking at Ukambani as a region that has, let's say, 4 counties. You're looking at it as a region that has a kingpin there. So devolution has failed in that way that even the leaders that we are having there cannot be held accountable, because even people are afraid that the kingpin has to say a certain manner or has to dictate what is happening in those regions. So that is why we are having a very huge and massive corruptions in our county. So why should we be discussing about the issue of increasing them? So I think we need to relook on the devolutionary process that has happened in this country. And if we are having an issue of even decreasing them, let us do it.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. And before I go to Linda, Jim, let me just ask you a question on matters technology. Tumeona some guys coming up with a brilliant idea of having a blockchain system of voting. Do you think that Kenya is ready for that? Hata kama si sai, maybe because of the timing right now, it's a bit problematic. But do you think in the near future, for the next elections, do you think this such a technology kama blockchain inaweza work here in Kenya?
It could, because at the end of the day, we are just trying to find the most theft-proof system. That's all we are trying. The most, because our elections are so expensive.
Right.
In 2017, I think we spent about $28 per vote. That's a ridiculous amount of money, and all of it in an attempt to do theft-proof. So if blockchain technology has been touted as one of those things that you cannot interfere with, right? So we young people are coming up with ideas, and we hope that they continue to do so, and we hope that as we progress forward, and hopefully these elections we do things right, we'll eventually start putting people into the IEBC who are actually worth their salt. Of course, we know that anytime we've had professionals in the IEBC, like the ICT gentleman who was murdered in 2017, what was his name? Chris Msando. It's a bit difficult, but at the end of the day, we have to encourage more and more young people to bring their technology into the public space in a way that it encourages us to reduce how much we are spending on such things, but it also encourages more public trust into the institutions, because we can't demonize IBC. It's all we have. So we have to find a way to make it work.
To maneuver.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Jim. Linda,
I love the way it is saying we must find a way to make this work. Yani, lazima kukuwe na njia regardless. And we left off here with Ateo. You were at number 3. Give us your last sentiment before I went to Bradford.
Simply put, to answer the question, do I trust the IEBC? I say I give them the benefit of the doubt, because they have not yet, failed us. So these by-elections, wanajua tunakaa rada, so they must perform. With 2027, they will know the whole country, the whole world is watching, so they will have to perform. And I think it's amazing that they know now that they're not operating within a vacuum, that we will hold them accountable. So my urge would just definitely be that people show up, vote. Do not buy the fear that they are selling us. Thank you.
Thank you. That was short and sweet. Bradford, what would be your concern looking at 2027, looking ahead? What would give you the confidence that this election would really be credible and fair?
First and foremost, I think just have to educate people who are taking it for granted that there are 2 things in life that you can never prevent. 2 things in life that you can never prevent. 1, a man can never prevent a wife who is almost giving birth at the labor ward. You cannot bring excuses that I wasn't ready for this child. I wasn't all that. You get. The woman has to deliver. It is your responsibility. You can never stitch. Let me just go that. You can never stitch.
Nakuona sana, by the way. Just say that.
You can never prevent diarrhea that is ready.
Yes.
You can't. And to tell you this, as at now, people have decided. They know what they want. There's no amount of excuse. Whether you bring the cronies, the people, your partners, to be the chair of IBC, to be what? The commissioners. People have decided. And they are going to do it. people are going to come out. Don't all the fears that are actually bringing on board, I don't know, we are going to steal. You go and steal.
Yeah.
The same people that are seated who are going to vote, they have never seen the essence of voting before. But right now, I can tell you, Linda, you will even find yourself manning that vote yourself. We have the recommendation that we were given by the Supreme Court, that electoral, the presidential electoral,
yes,
that the election has to be
credible,
announced at the polling station. Whatever you're going to do with your transmissions here, we know we are going to do there. You are going to get us there.
Thank you, Bradford. Let me come to you as well. What would give you the confidence? You know, even as we're giving our recommendations in regards to this, we've identified the gaps. Now, what are the recommendations that you would make to foster a better Kenya?
One thing, I think so, retirement age is 60 in our country. And some of the panel, the commission, are 76. So I wonder if our young generation don't have space for those things. So there is totally, it's the way of Kina Atoli, I can say. Because in our country, Atoli's age make more decision than us. First of all, they have failed us because they have not given us opportunity. Secondly, I don't want to talk much about IEBC because they have not performed yet. I've just told you they have 2 tasks. The recalling of the 4 MPs that they have been given, and they have by-elections. We have Kariobangi South. We have more than 26 space by-election in our country. So if they dare us, we're just saying, if they dare us, we have not sit here down to see, and as like the government see that we are so silent in everything they have done, because we never wanted the IEBC panelist. First of all, we weren't in agreement, but we just let it pass. They sworn in peace, because they think the generation Gen Z and the others, millennium, they're so quiet in everything.
But I'm curious about what would give you the confidence that IEBC would actually work. What would give you the confidence?
At the moment, it will never give me confidence that it will work in a fair election for us.
Thank you. Andrew, and to you, what would be the recommendations that you would make, or what are the changes that you would like to see over time as we are gearing towards 2027?
I think some of the things have been said, that we have by-elections coming up. We have also MPs that, citizens would want to recall. So if that process is not done the right way, so we're definitely not going to the right direction. But just to add, IEBC has a lot of work to do. Honestly, I feel like if there is one body that like all eyes are on, is IEBC, and so they have to earn our trust. And the only way they can earn our trust is to ensure that the things that the citizens are telling them, those by-elections, those recalling that we want them to do, those preparation, civic education, ensuring that all systems are ready, ensuring that they're issuing, like they're allowing young people to register, those things will build confidence. If they don't do that, we're not going anywhere. And just one thing, I do want to tell everyone that one thing that the government or the president right now is fearing is the young people. Leave alone all Mount Kenya is gone, all Western is going to be divided. The young people are the biggest challenge right now for the president. And for that reason, we must work united and we must work as a unit.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Let me come to our lawyer right here. Recommendations. Earlier on, you talked about the gaps available. What then would you recommend?
Number one, we had the remarks by the Wajir woman rep, Fatuma, who actually came out and said that even if we don't vote for Ruto by the majority, then they're going to rig. One of the things that I was actually expecting is that there would be an action that is taken against this woman rep who is claiming that, they're going to rig. Because, let me tell you, Linda, the voting of the elections begins right now. It doesn't. For someone who is planning to vote, they begin right now. That's right now is when they're acclimatizing with, the current commissioners. That's now when they're meeting and trying to wonder, who is he related to? Who is it that I can go through to get to that particular person? So I would want to see people that make utterances that are pro-rigging being taken an action against. Secondly, we want to see massive voter registration. Just like Jim has said out there that if we turn out massively to vote for our leaders, there is a very high chance that the IEBC will not have a chance to rig. Then also, I would want us Gen Z to have a plan B. You see, for every person who is going to a race, they always have a plan B. There's always a possibility that plan A is not going to work, so we need a plan B. So as Gen Zs, we need a plan B. And we saw it, that once we went out to the streets, we were able to gather attention, we were able to call out the government, we were able to bring some changes. So even this time around, we need a plan B, that if things don't go well, then there's people's justice. And yeah, basically, that's what I would.
Thank you so much. Your quick final thoughts before I let him speak as well.
Okay, thank you. So what I think IEBC should do to earn our trust, they should start by communicating clearly. They should be proactive. Let's not wait until Kenyans ask questions. That's when you come and tell us that I don't know the system maintenance was taking over.
Mm-hmm.
We also want IEBC to conduct civic education. I don't remember that the last time IEBC came out and taught people the importance of voting. They should do that. The good thing is that now they have said that they will open the registration next month. We hope it happens. And also lastly, we need to talk about the past mistakes which have happened.
Thank you.
Sorry. I was saying we cannot just keep quiet when things go bad and then come up later saying that we will be different. We don't want a situation like what happens in 2022 when people resign during an election and nothing happens. We want justice. This time round, we are demanding free and fair election.
Thank you so much, Denaro, as well. Your final thoughts?
I think these are my parting shots to IEBC. Plan A, can we have a constitutional audit and review of what IEBC is doing and what it constitutes, even the members themselves, the commissioners. Plan B, as Jim just said earlier on, gather all, scatter none. To literally every youth out there who's interested in having a better tomorrow right now. We have a captured referee right now in the field as it stands. If we allow this poll again to waltz in 2027, they're going to do literally what they did the last election. So let's turn up in numbers. Let us do something about this because our numbers provide the backdrop of what we need to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, tumesema imetutoka. Yeah. So many thanks for my panelists for joining me here today. We truly appreciate you, as well as our viewer at home. What I know about voting is that your voice, your vote, your vigilance can shape the future. My name is Linda Koski. See you again next Tuesday for yet another exciting Gen Z Manifesto show. Back to you, Ms. K.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Linda, and for your panelists as well. My panelists here, nataka to 1 minute each, your parting shot, maybe your recommendations.
For me, I would love to tell the young people of Kenya that as you are organizing for the election, let us also not be afraid to still protest about the issues that are affecting us today. As we are organizing for elections, let us not be afraid to bring on the chaos and to continue with the chaos against this regime. Because as you might think that IEBC will be your option for you to take out this regime, popular revolution might actually be your best chance to bringing systemic change in Kenya.
Thank you, Adrian. Jim?
I think for me, my caution would be that let's be very keen of the international community. Our elections are heavily funded from outside. And if you remember 2017, the international community gave that election a stamp of approval and said there were minor irregularities. And then the Supreme Court refused and rejected that. We saw the same trend in 2022. Now that the UN is setting camp here, we might see an increase because the interest of everyone from outside is artificial peace in Kenya. So we must refuse that attempt by the international community to subject us to a peace that does not serve us as a people until we actually get justice through the ballot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. And that marks the end of this beautiful, beautiful conversation. Now, my fellow young people, Siri ni numbers. We have proven over and over in the past 1 year that the more we are, the louder we are, the more change gets closer to home. So, as we close the show tonight, here are my 2 cents. Remember, with your numbers and voices, you may have saved the lives of Billy Mwangi, Kibet Bull, and most recently Diang'ui Kenyagia, just to name a few. Unfortunately, we have lost some of us in the plea for change, the change whose ultimate peak lies in the ballot box come 2027. So please, let's not allow any of it to be in vain. They may plan to play dirty and manipulate the numbers, but surely we can agree it's highly unlikely to rig your way out of a mass of people who unanimously vote against you. Put them to shame, show up, and show out. It's literally our best bet. I rest my case. My name is Miss Kahiro, and this has been the Gen Z Manifesto. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Good night.